Today's lesson is found in Chapter 1, Lesson 1. It is on the topics of GCF and LCM. GCF stands for Greatest Common Factor. LCM stands for Least Common Multiple. The key words in both of these lessons relates to the first word in each of the acronyms. Greatest, meaning we're going to be looking for the biggest common factor, and least, meaning we're going to look for the lowest number as a multiple. The first item we're going to tackle is greatest common factors. Our first problem can be found on page 8, letter B. Find the greatest common factor for 12 and 66. The best way to tackle this problem is to look at the number 12 and think, what are the factors of 12? You can do this in your head, or you can use multiplication table to just start out with. I like to start with the number 1. 1 times 12 is 12. So 1 and 12 are both factors of 12. Now I'm going to think 2. 2 times 6 is 12. So 2 and 6 are factors of 12. 3 times 4. 3 times 4 is 12, so 3 and 4 are factors of 12. And I also then have ran into the same number, 4, so I've completed my findings of factors of 12. Looking at 66. 1 times 66 are, so 1 and 66 are factors. 2 times 33, so 2 and 33 are factors. 3 times 22. 4 times, there is nothing times 4 that will give me 66, so 4 is not a factor. 5 times, nothing I can think of will give me 66. 6 times 11 gives me 66. 7 times nothing, so 7 is not a factor. 8, nothing. 9 is not a factor, 9 times nothing. 10 times nothing, and now I've reached 11 times, and I already have 11 times 6. So I'm done listing my factors of both 12 and 66. Now I'm going to look for the common numbers, and I have 1 and 2 are the same. I have 3, and then I also have 6. But remember what I said, the key word was greatest. What is the greatest, the biggest number that they have in common? Well, the greatest number that they have in common is the number 6. Another problem is 32 and 48. Factors of 32. 1 times 32, so 1 and 32 are. Then I'm going to go over to 2 times 16. 3 times, nope. There's nothing times 3 that gives me 32, so I can skip that. 4 times 8, nothing. 5 times nothing, and 6 times nothing, 7 times nothing, and I have now ran into the number 8, which I already have 8 times 4, so I'm done with all the factors of 32. Moving on to 48. 1 times 48, 2 times 24, 3 times 16, 4 times 12, nothing times 5, 6 times 8, and there's nothing times 7. Okay, so now again, I look for what they have in common. They have 1 in common. They have the number 2 in common. They don't have any 3s. They have 4s in common. They don't have 48, 32, no, 24, I'm just going through. Oh, they have a 16 in common and an 8 in common. When I look at which number is the largest, my GCF, my greatest common factor for these two numbers would be 16. The next concept deals with least common multiple. You want to find the least common multiple of 2 and 6. You simply have to skip count to figure this out. So if we wanted to skip count by 2, we go 2, 4, 6, 8, and we could continue on and on. Let's go now to 6. We have 6, 12, 18. Now I'm going to stop because I've already determined that the smallest least number that they have in common is 6. So I can write down that my LCM for 2 and 6 is 6. It is the smallest number that they have in common that is a multiple. The code for lesson 1 of chapter 1 is Packers. To find the LCM of 4, 5, and 10, I'm going to do the same thing. Skip count by 4s. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, and 24. Sorry about my pen. Skip count by 5s. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Now again, I can keep going and count by, but I'm going to just stop at that and now go to 10s, 20, 30. Now if I stop and analyze this right now, I can actually determine right now that the lowest number that all three of them have is 20. So my least common multiple is 20. So quick review, to find the GCF of a number, I have to find the biggest number of their factors that they have in common, and to find the LCM, I'm finding the smallest number of their multiple or skip count.